Hello, I'm back again and it's N Scale Friday. I have a box here from Atlas, so let's go over to the workbench and take a look. Alright, so here's what we're looking at today. We have this Trinity 17,600 gallon corn syrup tank car, lettered for GATX. I'm going to set that aside for a minute. We have a 52-foot gondola that's lettered for GE Railcar Services. I'm going to set that aside for a minute. And then we have some 45-foot containers and 53-foot containers. And we'll take a look at those first. All right, so looking at the 45-foot containers first, these come in 3 packs for $39.95. They come in 4 different paint schemes, and there are 2 sets for each of those 4 paint schemes. I've scrutinized the paint with my magnifying visor and found it to look really good. The logo is rendered particularly nicely with very clean separation lines between the white and the blue. The only writing on this car that I could not read was over here on the side. Everything else on the container is legible with extreme magnification. Now looking at the ends, you can see that the paint treatment on all this stuff up in here is really well done. I'm really amazed at how clean the paint treatment can be on models this small. I don't know if that's done with a pad process or what, but it's all molded. But because of how good the paint treatment is, it looks like it's separately applied pieces, which would be unheard of in a scale this small, at least right now. Looks really amazing, and all the writing on the ends is legible. And then looking at the other ends, you can see the paint and markings are similarly good here. I'm looking at the bottom of one of these now, and you can see that it uses the IBC Pin Arrangement, where it has pins on the bottoms, and then on the tops it has little indentations where those pins go so that they're easy to stack. Alright, so I've put them on some well cars so that you can see how they look in use. Okay, it looks like our train has returned from the Intermodal yard with the 53-foot containers, so we can take a look at those. Okay, so just to clear something up, yes, I'm having fun playing with the train on the track, but I'm also trying to show you how these fit into the well cars and the fact that they do work in well cars. So, kill 2 birds with 1 stone there. Anyway, the 53-foot containers also come in 3 packs. These sell for $36.95. They come in 7 different paint schemes, and each one of those paint schemes has multiple packs, so you don't have to worry about having the same numbers on them. All the markings on these containers are legible. And so, as with the 45-foot containers, the 53-foot containers also have exquisite paint treatment on the ends that makes all the latching and everything look like separately applied parts. And with these, all the writing is also legible on the ends. And something that I thought was really cool, if you look in what would appear to be the second panel, I guess, from the left, there's a little Earth logo that's also there that looks pretty good under extreme magnification. Also, similarly, these containers use the IBC Pin Arrangement, where there are holes on the top and pins on the bottom so that they stay together. One other thing worth mentioning about all these containers is that if you need to add weight to them, you can very carefully remove the floor to open them up. Okay, so that's all the containers I want to show you today. Let's move on to the next model. Okay, so next up is the 52-foot Evans Gondola. This model sells for $22.95. It comes in 6 different road names with multiple numbers on each name, and then they also have an undecorated one for $16.95. Having a look at the paint with my magnifier, I found it to be perfect, and all the markings on this are also very clean with very crisp separation lines. Overall, a very nice effect. And those ladders on the sides of the cars at each end are separately applied pieces. And guess what else is separately applied? The brake wheel and the end ladders. These are 100-ton roller bearing trucks and a truck-mounted Accumate knuckle coupler. This model has a die-cast underframe, which gives it some decent weight, so you could run it empty if you really want to. The easiest way always to add weight to a car like this is to add a load to it. It also gives you a chance to be creative, which is pretty cool. So as you can also see, there's some brake detail added to the bottom. There's not really anything to see inside, so let's get to the model I really want to look at. This is a 17,600 gallon Trinity Tank Car. It comes in 6 different road names with multiple numbers each and goes for $34.95. There's also an undecorated version that goes for $28.95. According to Atlas's website, they have 3 separate styles of platforms and manways and ladder arrangements that are prototypically accurate for this model. And all the railings you see there are fine scale railings. All the brake rigging is separately applied. And it has 100-ton roller bearing trucks like the Gon we were just looking at. And each different prototype is also painted accurately as well with the correct markings. So when scrutinizing the paint and markings on this one, I found that, unbelievably, everything except the very tiniest writing, it's all legible. And there's some really small writing on this thing. It says something about, it's some kind of a warning about fiberglass insulation or something like that. This thing's ridiculous. This model has pretty astounding detail. Everything from the standalone brake system details, and you can see little air reservoirs, piping, the placard on the sides separately applied. The end details, pretty remarkable. It's a separately applied brake wheel. Really fine scale rail, grab that's there. The walkway is perforated. I don't think it's a photo etched part, but it looks very finely rendered. Looking at the bottom, just everything here is pretty crazy. And I don't know. It just doesn't seem like N scale. That's how good it is. One other really cool thing here is if you look at the top, the walkways there are perforated and the hatch detail is really exquisite, not to mention all the railing up here. This is just pretty amazing. So as you can see, these are some pretty good releases from Atlas here. Very solid. I'm pretty excited about the fact that a lot of manufacturers are coming out with more and more varied containers. Different sizes, different colors, just like you see in the real world. I think this is great for modern prototype model railroaders because it gives you a chance to model the intermodal trains that have become so common today. That gondola has some very nice detail, and I was very impressed with the fact that they bothered to put a die-cast underframe for it, because not everybody wants to run Gons with loads all the time. You'll see trains with empty Gons, and you need to be able to model that. So the extra weight that the die-cast metal gives you for that is a great touch for them to have included. And that tank car, I just can't say enough. I really think I'm becoming a tank car foamer. The amount of detail, the fine scale of the detail, the separately applied parts, the paint was perfect. What more can you say? Good job, Atlas. I'm really looking forward to seeing more N scale stuff like this in the future. Thanks for watching.